My grandma, Severina, was 9 years old when her village was attacked. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, my grandma lived the typical life of a young girl in the Philippines. She enjoyed playing badminton and volleyball with her friends, attended church every Sunday with her mother and brother, and school 5 days a week. She was the smartest girl in her class. At least that's what she tells us. And we just have to take her word for it because when she moved to the US, her report cards, conveniently, were left at home. She had no idea that her idyllic lifestyle was about to be shattered. Here in the US, we're reminded every year that December 7th, 1941, was the day that Japan attacked Pearl Harbor. What you might not know is that on that same day, Japan launched simultaneous attacks against not just Pearl Harbor, but Malaysia, Thailand, Hong Kong, Guam, and the Philippines. For Severina, the attack comes with very little warning. It's late afternoon. The warm, tropical sun sits low on the horizon. She's at home with her family when they hear shouting in the distance. Suddenly, her neighbor comes running down the road, yelling, "The Japanese are coming!" Her mother leaps to her feet, grabbing Severina and her brother by the wrists, yanking them up. "We have to go, now." Startled and confused, they follow her out the front door. "What are we doing, Mama? Where are we going?" "We have to hide," she says without even breaking her stride. "We're going up into the mountains." On the road, they're joined by throngs of people, everyone spilling out of their houses. The air is thick with fear and sweat. Everything's happening so quickly. Severina looks back at her house receding behind her. "Mama, wait! What about Junjun?" Tears streaming down her cheeks. Junjun is her pet monkey. "There's no time for that now. We have to keep going." They hurry along muddy back roads, making their way past lush green rice paddies. Water buffalo, or carabao as they call them, are grazing along the side of the road. They reach the river that separates the edge of their village from the jungle beyond. And to their dismay, the river is raging. A torrential stream of water rushing past them. Severina's mother says, "We have to swim across." Severina whimpers, "I can't, Mama. It's too fast. It's too far." "We have to swim across. If they catch us, they're going to kill us." They begin carefully wading into the water when a water buffalo enters the river right beside them. "Quick, grab onto the carabao!" Her mother and brother each grab hold of a side, and Severina clings tightly to the water buffalo's tail. It swims all the way across, pulling them with it. Now, I know this is beginning to sound like some crazy fairy tale, but I'm not making this up. I've heard my grandma tell this story many times. Again, we don't have any actual proof. It's not like back then they all had GoPro cameras strapped to their water buffaloes. But I believe her. Until the day she died, she swore that carabao saved her life. They get to the other side of the river, and they're home free. They make their way up into the dense jungle and hide out for the entire night. No food, no water. They wait until morning, sleeping in a ditch. The next day, they cautiously make their way back to the village. It's eerily calm and quiet. The Japanese soldiers have all gone. They ransacked the houses looking for food and valuables, then moved on. Severina surveys the remains of her room, thinks to herself, it could have been worse. Thanks to the advance warning, no one has been captured or killed. Then, she sees it. Junjun! Her pet monkey. His broken, lifeless body lies in the corner, a senseless casualty of war. The Japanese occupied the Philippines for 3 years, until General MacArthur returned with the US military to drive them out. During that period, 500,000 to 1 million Filipinos were killed. Luckily, thanks to its remote location, my grandmother's village was relatively unscathed. The war ended in 1945 with Japan's surrender, and a few years later, my grandma got married. She was the most beautiful bride in the village. At least that's what she tells us. Immediately after getting married, my grandpa and grandma moved to the US, settled here in California, and started a family. And the rest, as they say, is history. Madam Toastmaster.